Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. This week we're going to be looking at some new things I've found, which are new Unreal HD skins for Unreal Tournament and Unreal Gold, as well as Unreal Environment textures, which again covers Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament. And then we'll be looking at a bit more of the DirectX11 Renderer, where I screwed up the installation last week. Now for the textures, I'll only be looking at the Unreal Tournament 99 versions, but Unreal Gold versions at some point as well. I've been looking at stuff like DirectX11, high resolution textures, and ReShade, all to make the game look better. And I realized in my last video with the DirectX 11 1.1 update that I actually didn't fully install it properly, which is ridiculous, which is probably why I wasn't seeing some of the effects. I'll link that video down below, so if you pause this and you haven't seen it before, pause this, go watch that, and then come back and you'll know what I'm talking. So in order to properly install it, which I forgot to do, you have to make sure that you drag across not only the DLL and the tessellation configuration file, which is what I did last week, you have to make sure that you also drag across the contents of the common folder, because otherwise you won't get the new effects. So this one, and then these two as well. And then that should do the job. Now that I've done that properly, let's fire up Unreal Tournament and redo my comparison of ambient occlusion on and HDR on all the way versus off, and then the sort of normal levels I'm going to run them at for a proper comparison of what HDR and bloom and AO look like maxed out. Let's go. So this is with my normal settings on. I like quite a bit of bloom, but it's not too excessive. This is with everything cranked up to max. Now as you can see, it's definitely very, very noticeable. You can certainly see around here, the health files basically look like ghosts are around them because the bloom is so strong, and I think it looks really awesome. It definitely looks like Oblivion now. Really, really cool effect. I think in the previous video when I cranked those settings way up, it did make a difference, but not much of a difference as this, because obviously it didn't have that new file with the new effects in to do it properly. So I think that looks pretty cool, but it's probably a bit excessive for playing with. And finally, here we are with both effects completely off. So you can see a lot of the details lost, the lighting's a lot flatter, a lot of the shadowing's gone, and it just doesn't look as good. So yeah, that was my fault for not installing that properly in the last video. My apologies to the mod maker. Now, as for the texture work, I've had a comment here saying that the high-res texture pack that I was using removes some of the multi-layered detail textures. So in the end, the textures end up looking worse up close, even though they're high-res. I don't think they necessarily looked worse up close, but I did notice ones without the multi-layered detail textures weren't having any parallax occlusion mapping applied to them. So what is parallax mapping, you may be asking? Well, let's have a look. So you can see on this texture here, there's a certain effect going on there where it looks like it's 3D, but it's actually not, it's totally flat. And what's happening there is there's something called a parallax occlusion mapping shader, I believe, that is using the detailed texture map as a kind of height map to displace pixels, and it displaces them in a way that it makes it look 3D, so when you walk around it looks like an actual bumpy surface. Now these are very prevalent on the older textures, the Game of the Year edition textures, because they have the detailed textures there, so you can see there. But some of the newer textures I've been using, as pointed out by the commenter, such as here, don't appear to have much, if any, detailed texturing applied, so they don't necessarily look worse as you get closer to them because they're so high res. But in DirectX 10 and 11, you're not getting that parallax occlusion mapping effect. So as you can see there, versus this, very bumpy, very detailed, 3D effect, and then here, just not. Now that may be the intention of the people who made the textures. You can see there's a bit of sort of parallax going on there, but not a great deal. So I'm not sure if that was omitted on purpose. Same for these textures up here. This person here has come along with a link to some Unreal HD textures, which are here. Now these are environmental textures that are super high res, so you can go from standard to higher to ridiculous 4K, which is really cool. Now these are 4.2 gigs each. There's one for Unreal Gold and there's one for Unreal Tournament. So I've downloaded both of these and installed them. I'll be looking at the Unreal Gold one at some point, but today we'll be looking at Unreal Tournament. and seeing how high definition they are, and to see how the detailed texture mapping on them works, to see if they have the depth of the S3TC textures, as Sanail Ovrum has said. So we'll be seeing if they have the detailed textures and then see if that applies to parallax mapping. So thanks for the comments, guys. It's really, really helpful stuff. And we'll also be looking at another update I found, which is from someone called Lightning Hunter. And they've done some skins for Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament that cover the old Unreal skins and Return to Narpali skins. So the old weapons which you can get with the old school mod on Unreal Tournament, and the monster textures will all be updated. Nothing else really in Unreal Tournament will be updated, but the original Unreal will be fully updated, so all the monsters will look a lot better. But there's a way we can spawn monsters in Unreal Tournament to see those, as well as get the old weapons as well, so we can see how high definition they are. And again, I will be doing a video on Unreal Gold soon, but I want to stick to Unreal Tournament at the moment. A shout out to Lightning Hunter for the Unreal Tournament skins. Shout out to Iheanacho, I think, for the super duper 4K texture pack, and shout out to darknovismc. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying any of these right, but yeah, shout out to those three. These mods will be in the description, so go check them out. These guys are working hard to keep Unreal Tournament going. It's very much appreciated. In fact, everyone who works on mods for Unreal Tournament still is really much appreciated. A lot of talented people, and I love doing videos on them. And also I love playing Unreal Tournament. So yeah, please do keep going. Definitely appreciate it, and thank you very much. Right, let's check out these textures. These do actually seem to have a bit more of a pronounced effect, such as here. So when I zoom in, you can really see the bumpiness there. So I think these ones actually do have detailed textures applied to them, which give it that effect in DirectX 10 and 11. Now I'm not sure if you could apply detailed texture to make these individual little bumps be parallax occluded. That would be really cool. But either way, the people making these textures have put in a lot of hard work. I think they've been working on them for a few years. So yeah, you can definitely tell it's been for the best. It's very, very cool. Not as pronounced as these textures here, the original textures from the Game of the Year edition, but still certainly noticeable and very cool. And you can see here, I think this is one of the game's original textures. So this has no detailed texture mapping on it whatsoever, and therefore no parallax occlusion mapping. So this is the kind of quality that the original game's textures had. And if we jump down here, we can see the quality that the S3TC textures had. You can see there's quite a large difference. And then of course, there's even further difference with the even newer textures. And some of the most obvious stuff you're going to notice here is these textures here. Really, really nice high-res stuff. Looking at these textures, doesn't appear there's any parallax occlusion mapping going on them, at least not here. These ones on the floor, they have a bit applied to them. So I think there is a detailed texture map applied over these. But again, it's not as pronounced as other textures. But still, they look damn good. Really, really good. Another place where it's very noticeable is the artwork here. Really, really nice. Really smooth stuff. Really well done. Very, very nice. And this artwork over here, which is also very, very nice. So hopefully they can put some detailed textures on these, if not already, and hopefully they can get it so these parts can have the parallax occlusion mapping applied to them and make them super bumpy. Although they already look quite bumpy already, even though there's not parallax occlusion applied to them. Looks really, really good. And another good place to check out these new textures is outside with the grass. Again, really, really nice. Super high res. You've got these little decorations here. Again, you can see these do actually have parallax occlusion mapping applied to them. Really, really nice. These bits here, the leaves there, all very high res. And you can see there's some bumpiness there. So this makes me think that they've purposefully done this so that not all surfaces have the bumpy effect on it, because reality, they wouldn't be all bumpy. So it could just be a artistic design choice, which is fair enough. But yeah, these textures are very nice overall. Really high res, really good looking stuff. So not all of the textures in the game have been applied, and I do have a mixture of 3 texture packs. The originals from the original game, the ones that are replaced with the S3 TC textures from Game of the Year edition, the HD ones that were made in the noughties sometime, I think 2006, and then these new super duper HD ones, which were released, at least the latest version, were released this month. So it's kind of hard to tell where the new textures are and where the old textures are, but you can generally get an idea. So you can kind of see here, I think these are the brand new ones, these are the slightly older ones, and then you have like the more original ones around here as well. Overall, really good stuff. They do tend to be filling up my VRAM, but I think that may be a glitch, as I'm seeing my card fill up all of its 8 gigs of VRAM and it's crashing out sometimes, which I've never seen Unreal Tournament do before. So it could just be I've pushed the textures too far, or there's a memory leak or some sort of glitch somewhere. That's pretty cool stuff, very much appreciated. Always good to improve the look of Unreal Tournament in any way I can, but if the people who made this are watching, I would definitely look into possibly putting detail texture maps on these textures if they're not already, because that would, I think, add a lot more depth. Unless it was an artistic choice not to, in which case it's fair enough. Well, either way it's fair enough, because obviously a lot of work's gone into this, so thank you for making those textures. Adds a lot of depth to the game. It's time to now look at the skin textures. So first we'll be checking out the weapons, the original textures on Morpheus, and to enable these old weapons we need to enable the old school mutator, like so. So you can see the pistol there, the old sort of blurry textures, and then you've got the Stinger minigun. Again, you can see very blocky textures, there's a lot of artifacting there, bit of color banding and stuff. Shock rifle, again, very low res, very blurry, which, you know, you can expect from the original Unreal textures. And there's the 8-ball. Again, quite a bit of color artifacting, sort of banding and weird stuff there. And the sniper rifle, as you can see, it's a bit mushy at the back there. So let's switch up to the high-res weapons and let's see how much better they look. To get their weapons and monsters in HD, you need to enable the Unreal HD Skins mutator. So let's go. So as you can see, much higher resolution there. And to the pistol, yep, very, very nice. Really sharp, really nice stuff. And less color banding and artifacting, especially around here. Very, very sharp. Really nice textures. Really well worth it. I can't wait to fire up Unreal Gold with these. Now let's check out the monsters with the original textures, and then we'll check out the monsters with the new textures. Let's go. So in order to do that, we're going to go to Lava Giant, and we're going to load up Monster Spawner, and we're going to take off the Unreal HD skins. So as you can see, there's this happy chap here, while I've got it paused. You can tell, again, relatively low res textures as you'd expect. And let's do a comparison with the HD textures on. As you can see, very, very big difference. Really, really nice details there. And when you get up close, it doesn't look like a blurry mess. So we've got this handsome chap here, and that's with the old skins enabled. And here is the HD counterpart. As you can see, huge difference there. You can see around the staff there, there's much more higher details, you know, around this area here, around the armor, skin, face, all that kind of stuff. Really, really nice stuff. Really, really good. And here's a weapon that wasn't on the other map, the flat cannon. So you can see there, again, obviously quite blurry, old school. And here you can see the flat cannon with the updated textures. Uh-oh. Okay, so this round all sorts of crazy shit has spawned. You got this guy. You got this dude here. And you got this guy up there. My god. And you can see they're all very, very well textured. It's random what gets loaded in, so it's hard to do comparisons. And if you're wondering what's making the screen shake, it's this guy here. As you can see, it's very, very well textured. And then this crazy thing over here. So that was the DirectX 11 Renderer version 1.1, properly updated this time with some comparisons there. So thank you to the creator of that. Thanks to the creator of Unreal HD version 2. And thanks to the creator of the Unreal HD textures in 4K. And thanks to the people who comment on the videos. These two people here, quite handy, pointing out these things with the textures. And this one for pointing out the new HD textures. So that was really cool to check out. Really makes the game look awesome, and I can't wait to try these textures and these skins with Unreal Gold. It's gonna look so awesome, especially with DirectX 11 running on that as well. I'll probably get that done next month. Next week, it will be the end of Unreal Tournament 20th anniversary month, and that'll be finishing with my 20 years of Unreal Tournament retrospective, so keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming out the 27th, I think, Wednesday. So if you like this content, please do subscribe, tick the little bell, drop a like, comment, and stick around because there'll be lots more gaming content coming, also more tech content coming as well. So check out in the description, there's a link to my ASMD shock rifle made with an Arduino and an old Nerf blaster. And also check out some of my other videos. I do tech videos on Raspberry Pi and Arduino. I've got my Edith glasses Mark II coming up from Spider-Man Far From Home, so keep an eye out for that. These are both things that I'm really passionate about. I think there's a lot of opportunity for crossover between projects and video games. So that's really cool. I want to keep pushing on that. So do check out that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.